My name is Rob Chandhok. I'm the president of Qualcomm Interactive Platforms, and I work on a variety of things from augmented reality to wearables to software strategy in general. Well, the Internet of Things is really a broad topic. I mean, it can cut all the way from connected cars to smart grids, all the way to connected appliances and media in the home and in the car. So we're actually playing in all those spaces, from devices that are really small that go in your body, wearable things like watches, to devices in the home that use Wi-Fi through our Theros subsidiary. And then in addition, just connecting everything, like what we're doing where we're putting modems in cars and other components of the sort of the infrastructure like the smart grid. Well, one of the things we're really interested in is how we start to get the Internet of Things turned into, and maybe this is a good time to coin it, the ecosystem of things. What we want is actually to make it so developers and service providers can actually build experiences on top of these sort of seemingly disparate devices. A lot of times right now, people will make one device and then it'll talk to their app, and it's a cool experience, but it doesn't really scale. You have the Revolve guys that are actually going to pull things together. Similar to that, we have a project called AllJoin that is actually a protocol for pulling together things across the Internet of Things in the proximal network, so things near me. We're not trying to compete with the cloud. The cloud is already there, it works, don't have to do anything about it. But the cloud was really bad at finding things that are near you that it doesn't know about, like the fact that you've got a wireless speaker in the room you just walked into, or that projector at the office actually has the capability to stream your PowerPoint slides without you having actually to plug a VGA cable in, which is what we're still doing, right? So all those things involve discovery and trust and security and then communication, and AllJoin is the substrate for that people can use to build across a bunch of different verticals. Yeah, so the main point of talk actually is that what we're trying to do is say what would happen if you have something on your wrist and always on. So a lot of what talk is about is at a glance. So there's information sources that I have. For example, I can look at the weather, which up here is maybe a little bit more interesting, but I can look at stock prices. We're having a particularly good day, so I like showing that face today. All the way to sort of things that are funky, and then I have media briefings right on here on my calendar. Now this calendar view is the one I actually leave on during the day when I'm at work, because then I can just look down and actually see what I'm going to. But in the evening, I'll put it on a different watch face, and that's something that's kind of interesting. In the meantime, other things pop up, like notifications from SMS or calling, which is, I think, nobody would be surprised at, but also notifications from any third-party application. So my family and I happen to use WhatsApp to talk to each other. We have a group chat with all four of us, and I can see whether or not I need to interrupt what I'm doing to pull my phone out of my pocket, or I can just sort of glance at it and swipe it away. So I choose what goes to my wrist, which is a subset of what goes to my phone. And in doing so, I can sort of build the experience that I want on my wrist. And we think that's it was important enough for us to sort of illustrate that. And also, to enable that always-on experience, we actually created a display technology called Mirrorsol just to enable that always-on experience. So we have a low-power reflective display, so I can actually have this on all the time, and I get that at-a-glance experience. So not having to wake the watch up to see that thing that just beeped is a substantively different experience. Yeah, I think one of the things I'd like to mention again is sort of what I said with Kevin on stage, which was we really need to think about at this point in time how we're going to enable interoperability. So a piece of that puzzle is AllJoin, but even beyond that, we have to think about APIs to allow the Internet of Things to talk to each other in the same way that the web enabled services to talk to each other and build and construct new experience on top of that. So there's one thing I want to leave with, don't think things get smart just by adding an app to them. Think things get smart by adding an API to them.